based on multiple conversations that I've had, it does seem like the most likely scenario is that Kelsey Plum would move on from the Aces.
My basketball mind, though, is still having a hard time wrapping my head around Kelsey leaving and going to an org like the Valkyries.
The Las Vegas Aces' dominance is fading fast. Their dynasty, once unshakable, is crumbling like a sandcastle at high tide. It all begins with Kelsey Plum's departure, marking a turning point for the team.
It's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum is that during the season when the rest of the core Aces, the other, they're the core four, Asia, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions, she did not.
The Las Vegas Aces empire is crumbling. Kelsey Plum's departure has shaken the team, AJA Wilson is fuming, and coach Becky Hammon is losing control. Meanwhile, the rest of the league is eager to pounce. The dynasty's downfall is unfolding, and every moment promises drama you won't want to miss.
Mentioned that she did not sign an extension, and former general manager Natalie Williams told me before she and the Aces parted ways that, Kelsey was offered an extension and
Losing a game is tough, but losing your star player is even worse. That's what the Las Vegas Aces are facing with Kelsey Plum, their sharpshooter, eyeing the exit. But the problem goes beyond basketball. There's tension building in the locker room, and it's clear it's not about team unity.
When it comes to somebody like Kelsey Plum, she's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, you mentioned my reporting, I can pull and cite a few quotes that kind of imply that, the same way that Satu said that she's working with the Dallas organization, that's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammon said to me about a month ago in regards to Kelsey Plum's situation.
Let's break it down. Kelsey Plum's stats last year were outstanding. 17.8 points per game, 4.2 assists, hitting 42% from the field and 36.8% from beyond the arc. She's a coach's dream on paper, no doubt. But in reality, things are far from perfect. Remember that heated exchange with coach Becky Hammon during the playoffs? That wasn't just a one-time incident. It was like watching a pressure cooker explode. Hammond was furious, calling out Plum's performance and the team's effort. Plum, on the other hand, wasn't exactly smiling and nodding. Her frustration was clear, adding fuel to an already tense situation.
Also, I think she made the statement, something along the lines like, it's just not, we're not going to look the same that we've looked in the past, right? Which makes total sense, right? Again, as I just said, you kind of in your mind have this idea that teams are always going to look the way they look, and the reality is that's just not.
But wait, there's more. That playoff game against the New York Liberty, Plum scored a measly 6 points, shooting just 2 for 9. Ouch. It was like she forgot how to play basketball overnight. Or maybe, just maybe, there's more to the story than meets the eye.
I do think is interesting is that there is a team that will be coming to the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries, and a part of me just kind of feels like that might be a fresh start for Kelsey Plum if she does decide that she wants to move on from the Aces. To me, it gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter scorer, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas. And I think that could also be something that plays well where you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience, but you're also still working with someone who knows you and knows you well. So you get a bit of the best of both worlds.
Now, let's talk about where Plum might be headed. The Golden State Valkyries are chomping at the bit, and they've got a cool $1.2 million in cap space to work with. They are not just looking for any player. They want a star to build their team around. Guess who fits that bill?
I definitely would not rule that out. Something that really stands out to me is that, Kelsey is a Southern California native, and San Francisco is, it's within the state. California is a large state, but it's still within the state. And I think that stands out. To me, that's the most intriguing destination for Kelsey. I totally understand the fit. You mentioned perimeter scoring for the Valkyries, and they'll absolutely need that. But I think also she brings this, veteran championship mentality that Natalie Nakaze has emphasized that she wants to cultivate in the Golden State. And so to me, that would just be knock out of the park. And they have the room to do it. They're just building their roster. Cap space is not going to be a problem. So that stands out to me, definitely.
But it gets even juicier. The Valkyries head coach, Natalie Narkes, used to be an assistant coach with the Aces. That means she and Plum have history. Good history, apparently. It's like a reunion tour waiting to happen, and you can bet it would be a powerful one if it comes to life.
She and Natalie were really close. Like, I remember the first conversation I had with Natalie Nakase, she was telling me that she spent the whole offseason doing Pilates with Kelsey Plum because Kelsey had roped her into it. And they were waking up at like 6 a.m. together to go to these Pilates sessions. And I remember telling Natalie, like, that is something I would never do. I could never, like, wake up that early. And she's like, well, you should. Like, you should consider it. Kelsey has, like, changed my life by us doing that. And that's, like, something small thing. It doesn't really go into any reporting or anything, but their relationship seems to be really strong. And so, you know, I wouldn't be...
Now, you might be thinking, what about the Aces? Surely they won't let her go that easily. Well, here's where it gets interesting. Plum didn't sign an extension with the team, and there are whispers, loud whispers, about a potential sign-and-trade deal. The Valkyries are in the mix, but so are the Chicago Sky. It's like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and Plum's holding the best seat.
It was actually the context of the quote that Becky Hammon had given me, where she said, like, you know, Kelsey is very core to this organization. She's very important. And so, you know, we're giving her space to figure out what she needs for herself, but we also want to make sure that we as an organization are in a good position.
Remember when AJA Wilson was all about team first and loyalty? Well, those words are starting to sound pretty hollow right about now. The self-proclaimed queen of the Aces is watching her kingdom crumble, and trust me, she's not taking it well. The tension is building, and it's clear she's feeling the weight of it all.
I just have a very hard time imagining the Las Vegas Aces without that core four. They were all drafted there, right? I mean, they were all drafted there. And so, I mean, look, as a Warriors fan, losing Klay Thompson, I can sort of relate to this, but that would be quite a blow for a team like Vegas. They came up together. They won 2 championships together.
With her MVP status, you'd think AJA Wilson would be in a comfortable spot. But here's the truth. Those impressive stats don't tell the full story. Behind the scenes, things are getting complicated. The numbers might look good, but the internal struggles are starting to show. There's more happening than meets the eye, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. The pressure, tension, and cracks within the team are becoming more visible, affecting not just AJA, but the entire dynamic. It's clear that there's more to her leadership than just her performance on the court.
Age reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say it's not really about me. It's not about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's...
Imagine this. It's the playoffs, tensions are running high, and AJA Wilson gets into a heated argument with Kelsey Plum. We've all had our moments, but questioning your teammates' commitment in the middle of a crucial series? That's a whole new level of drama. The pressure is clearly taking a toll on both of them. At a time when unity is key, this clash only adds more stress, further fracturing an already fragile team dynamic. The weight of expectations is clearly weighing heavy, and it's showing in moments like this. The stakes have never felt higher.
I understand that there could be personal reasons, but you're coming from a top-notch organization in Vegas, and Joe Lacob, as the owner for the Valkyries, he's setting them up nicely to begin. They're going to have the facilities, they're going to have all the things. But even if you just bring Kelsey Plum to the team that they have right now, as constructed, I don't think that would be...
AJA Wilson has been venting her frustration, and it's not just about Kelsey Plum. She's calling out the entire team, saying, "We need to be better. We can't rely on 1 or 2 players to carry us. Everyone needs to step up." On the surface, it makes sense, but it's a tough look when the captain is the one saying this while their own leadership is being questioned. It's hard for a leader to call for improvement when cracks are appearing in their own foundation. The message doesn't carry the same weight when the leader is struggling themselves.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great and looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of my team.
AJA Wilson's passion and drive are undeniable, but her approach is where things get complicated. Some teammates thrive on her high-energy, demanding style, but others find it difficult to handle. The locker room has become tense, like walking on eggshells. And who's feeling the pressure the most? AJA herself. The weight of leadership is starting to feel more like a burden than a badge of honor. It's clear that the responsibility of leading the team is taking a toll, impacting both her performance and the overall team dynamic. Balancing leadership and pressure is no easy task, especially when it starts to weigh you down.
But also it goes hand in hand. That's it. And if I get fined for this, I'm terribly sorry, but it's ridiculous. We've been going through this all season, so everybody got to their God.